The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication, podcast publishing made easy, libsyn.com. That's libsyn.com.
Experiencing the plays, great performances, and compelling stories each week from the archives of great productions of Hollywood's best producers and actors. We now go back to the early days of radio and our imaginations with our featured drama presentation.
Kill the Pharaoh. A thriller serial in 8 episodes by Victor Pemberton. Elizabeth Warwick, daughter of a famous archaeologist, is visiting Egypt to find the tomb her father had discovered before his death. At Luxor, she's met by Fuad, a young Egyptian associate of her father. But Fuad was killed 1 month before their meeting. Kill the Pharaoh. Episode 2, Into the Darkness.
Miss Warwick! Miss Warwick, over here! We've kept a place for you!
Oh, Mr. Mellors. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, what chaos! Is it like this every day?
It is if you want to cross the Nile first thing in the morning, my dear. Always best to get here early.
But fancy bringing all their livestock onto a passenger ferry. Surely they're not all going to the Valley of the Kings.
I'm afraid that's something we'll have to get used to, Miss Warwick. In Egypt, most of the people take their livestock around with them wherever they go. They're almost part of the family. Ask Maggie here, she'll tell you.
By the time we get to the other side, you'll have more fleas on you than you ever...
Oh! Get away from me, you filthy brute!
So, where are you making for today, Miss Warwick? The Hashak tomb?
Possibly. I'm not quite sure yet.
Oh, it's been quite a big day for you, seeing the first time all the good work your father did. Let's hope you won't be too disappointed.
Why?
The authorities have rather let the place go to rot. No one goes up there anymore.
You know, Miss Warwick, the tomb is completely deserted, well off the beaten track. Not the sort of place for a girl to go wandering off on her own. I know I wouldn't be brave enough.
Oh, I shall be quite all right. I'm meeting a friend. He used to work at the site with my father.
Ah, no worries then, as long as you've got someone with you. I mean, it can be pretty dangerous up there on those hill tracks, especially if you're not used to them.
Hill tracks?
Why, yes, the Hashak tomb isn't in the actual valley itself. You have to climb right up there, to the top of the Theban peak. You knew that, didn't you, Miss Warwick? Ah, we're off.
No. Look who's running along the quayside. Is that awful man?
Who is he?
Bertie Pringle is staying at our hotel. We usually try to avoid him.
Just look at that ridiculous Arab headdress. It's so embarrassing. Come on, boat. Get a move on. Get a move on.
Ah, so, Mr. Wilder, do you not feel good to have the air conditioned?
Yes, I do, Inspector, but I hardly find the town mortuary the ideal place for relaxation.
No, always do I come here for the air condition. Such a luxury after the heat of my office.
Ah, yes. Too bad our friends in the boxes over there can't enjoy the same luxury. So this is where they brought the body of Fuad Yassif after the car crash?
Yes, military police found him on hill just below Theban Peak. Oh, what was left of him.
Then how can you be sure it was the real Fuad Yassif?
That is the point, Mr. Wilder. We are not sure. It is why we come to mortuary to find out.
But this man who met Elizabeth Warwick at her hotel last night, why is he posing as Fuad Yassif? What does he want?
Also, we must find out.
She may be in danger.
My men keep watch at all times.
It needs only one mistake.
At all times, Mr. Wilder, at all times. Let us remember, if this man is the real Fuad Yassif, your lady will have nothing to fear. After all, he was close friend of Sir Richard Warwick.
Yes, as a child.
And now he is a man. Mr. Wilder, can you tell me why you or Miss Warwick have come to Luxor?
Well, you should know your people in London issued the visa.
Visa? Oh, very funny.
Her passport is perfectly legal, if that's what you're implying.
Holiday? Do you think is true?
I don't see why not. Plenty of people do come here for holiday.
But Miss Warwick is different, is she not?
Different? In what way?
She is daughter of man who discovered tomb. Tomb without a mummy, without a treasure.
Now, look here, Mahmoud. That tomb has been empty for years. Nobody cares a damn about the place.
No?
Well, of course they don't. There's nothing to see. The Harshak tomb is nothing but a bare shell. You know that.
Yes.
So I can't see any possible reason why Elizabeth Warwick or anyone else should suddenly want to take an interest in the place.
No, Mr. Wilder, and neither can I.
Once outside the tomb of Ramesses, the visitor will not fail to become aware of the intense heat, and servants should be instructed well in advance to provide necessary refreshments for the return journey by carriage. Ladies are well advised to carry their parasol.
Parasol? What an absurd book.
Not at all, Mrs. Phyllis. It happens to be one of the most authoritative guidebooks you can get. There's not a stone in Egypt he doesn't know about.
I'm sure.
But isn't it just a little bit out of date, Mr. Pringle? Well, surely servants and parasols went out years ago.
Yeah, I suppose so. And more's a pity.
You resent the change?
It's not the same Egypt I first came to when I was a kid. Well, what about you, Miss Warwick? Do you like these people?
I respect them, if that's what you mean.
Is that a fact? Oh, you do amaze me.
Oh, really? In what way?
Well, I mean, after the way they treated your father.
I can assure you, Mr. Pringle, if my father had been alive today, this is where he'd have been. Right here on this boat with me. You see, he loved Egypt and its people. As far as he was concerned, the Nile is a lot deeper than most of us think.
Well, let's hope he was right, Miss Warwick.
Oh, here's your chance to find out. Welcome to the Valley of the Kings.
A Christian? Fuad Yassif? Are you sure?
That is what it says in file, Mr. Wilder. Here, you may look for yourself.
The only son of a Muslim family suddenly becomes a Christian. Why?
He worked for many years with Europeans. Perhaps it's natural.
He was very young, only 23.
Tragic?
There's no photograph.
Alas, no.
Then I don't see how you're going to find out if this man with Elizabeth Warwick is a fake or not.
We shall find out.
Do you mind telling me how?
Before we know about second Fuad Yassif, we must look to the first.
You mean you'll exhume the body?
You have not seen dead body before, Mr. Wilder.
Usually I try not to see them after they've been buried. Which graveyard?
The Roman Catholic Church here in Luxor.
I don't think they'll like that very much. Are you sure they'll give you permission?
I think we may rely on Captain Aziz to take care of this.
Captain Aziz? What's he got to do with this?
Captain is in charge of military police. We work together very closely, particularly on matter of security.
Security? So now I suppose you think Elizabeth Warwick is some kind of spy?
We only wish to protect this lady.
Then where is she now?
Her Fuad Yassif take her to the Valley of the Kings.
Fuad, you let her go out there alone with that man after what happened in the village of Hazia last night?
Do not be alarmed, my friend.
Alarmed? Are you out of your mind or something? She should have been warned about that man.
No. To catch the gander, we must watch the goose.
She could be killed.
Always we have watched the goose from the first moment.
Mahmoud, are you actually telling me that you've been following Elizabeth Warwick ever since she arrived in Egypt? Why, Mahmoud? For heaven's sake, why?
Because, my friend, although Sir Richard Warwick have many friends in Egypt, he also have certain enemies. And not all of them rest here in mortuary.
Oh, I am so glad you have come, Elizabeth. Welcome.
Thank you, Fuad. Well, which way do we go?
There is a road which leads to the western slope. Then we must start the climb up to the peak.
I've been told the tracks are rather primitive. Do we have a guide?
Oh, there is no need for a guide.
Why not?
You forget. Fuad Yassir is very familiar with the journey to Harshak. You trust him, don't you, Elizabeth?
Do I have a choice?
Maybe.
Which is?
To go alone.
It's probably safer.
Probably.
How long will it take? It's getting very hot.
Oh, in 1 hour and a half we shall be at the Harshak tomb.
Do we have a car?
No car. The road is too bad.
No car? Then how are we expected... You mean we have to go all the way up that mountain on one of these donkeys?
But of course. What did you expect?
Ahmed, are you sure about this? Absolutely sure?
Yes, Mr. Villas. Sure, I'm sure.
Where did you see this man?
The cafe in Market Square. 2 times I have seen with my own eyes. 2 times.
Charlie, it must be him. It's got to be.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it now. We'll have to wait till we get back this evening.
No, Charlie, don't be a fool. We've got to go to that cafe now.
We'll wait until this evening, I tell you. If we turn back now, it'll look too suspicious. Ahmed, go and get the car.
Yes.
We'll do some sightseeing in the valley.
Yes, yes.
We're going to lose him. I know we're going to lose him.
Maggie, now listen to me. We've waited a long time for this chance, and we're not going to waste it just for the sake of a few hours.
Yes,
We're
but
going to find that boy, I promise you. But we're not going to throw away everything we've been working on for all these months. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, then. So let's just go out to the valley. That's odd.
What is it?
The girl. She's got someone with her, an Arab. They're going up to Hashak by donkey.
She said she was meeting a friend.
Yes, but look who's also following the track.
It's Pringle. Mr. Pringle.
Ya Allah, Ruhawam!
Inspector Mahmoud. This is an unexpected pleasure. What brings you to Harshak?
It's long time since we met, Mr. O'Hara. But your school looked better than always. Never have I seen so many children.
They seem to come from all over the place.
It is good work you do in the village. Our government should be grateful.
The government let me stay, Inspector. I'm the one that's grateful. Now, what can I do for you?
Did you know Miss Warwick have come to Luxor?
Miss who?
A daughter of Sir Richard.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth Warwick? Here?
Since last night.
But I was a close friend of her father's. All that time we worked together up at the Harshak tomb. She might at least have written to say she was coming.
Have you never met this lady?
No, never. She was only a child during the excavations. But Sir Richard used to show me some of her letters. They both were very close, you know.
She also had a brother, did she not? The one that was killed at Suez.
Michael Warwick, oh yes. But there lies a very different tale. There was no love lost between father and son. The boy was a dirty word as far as the old man was concerned.
Mr. O'Hara, do you know why Miss Warwick should have come to Luxor?
Presumably a holiday. Isn't that why most people come?
Then you have not heard of the man Fuad Yassif.
Who?
Yassif. Fuad Yassif. It was he who have invited Miss Warwick to Luxor.
Is that a fact? Well, I'm glad at least someone knew she was coming. No, Inspector, I can't say I know the fella.
Mr. O'Hara, for how many years now do you have the school here in Harshak?
Oh, you should know that, Inspector. Must be all of 15 years, if not more.
15 years is long time to teach peasant children to face world with a better mind.
You needn't worry about that, Inspector. Most of these kids have a mind of their own. The only thing I have to offer them is a basic education.
But you must love them very much after 15 years.
Yes, I suppose I must do.
And even after they have gone, you do not forget them.
Forget? I bet you I remember the names of every one of the little devils.
Really?
Off by heart.
Very strange.
What's so strange about it?
That you should not remember the name of the small boy Fuad Yassif.
Yassif?
Why, yes. According to the file, he was a pupil for 2 years here with you at the school in Harshak.
Fuad! Oh, Fuad, please! Oh, not so fast! This heat's killing me. I can hardly breathe.
It's not good to stop for too long. The sun is very strong. Oh, 1 minute then. You had better drink some water.
No, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for all this dust. These flies have got teeth like pins. Oh, how much further do we have to go?
Oh, first, we must get to the other side of the peak. Then we shall be at the Harshak tomb in 1/2 hour.
It's such an odd feeling up here. To be able to look down on the Valley of the Kings, laid out like a vast graveyard. Now, why should a pharaoh build his tomb on the slopes of a mountain? Why not alongside all the others in the valley itself?
Ah, so you do believe Harshak is a pharaoh's tomb?
I believe, as much as anybody wants me to believe. Or as little. Just like those ants down there.
Tourists? They come to look with the eyes, not with the heart.
And yet they don't seem to come up here. Perhaps it's too dangerous, even for the ants.
Beware the goddess of the western peak. She strikes instantly and without warning.
What's that?
An ancient text.
What does it mean?
The danger is always with us.
Is that what you believe?
Oh, I am an Arab. I have to be prepared to face danger at all times, even death. Are you afraid to meet death, Elizabeth?
How extraordinary. You know, you're the second person to ask me that since I arrived. What is this obsession you all have with death?
For us, death is no disgrace. Like the pharaohs, it is something we work towards from the day we are born.
Oh, well, that's fine. As long as you don't forget that, with a bit of luck, there's an awful long time in between.
Perhaps. Shall we go?
Right.
Mr. Pringle! Hey, Mr. Pringle, can we give you a lift?
Oh, it's you, Mr. Villas. What you doing up this far?
Isn't it a bit hot standing up here taking pictures all on your own?
Oh, no, I love it. You get a marvellous panoramic view of the whole valley from up here, especially on this Japanese job of mine. It's got a terrific zoom lens.
Can we give you a lift?
Oh, no, thanks all the same, Mrs. Villas. I much prefer it this way, you know. I get car sick in the heat.
Well, rather you than me.
But you're not going up to Harshak, are you?
That old jump? Oh, no, I don't think so. Getting halfway up the Theban peak's quite enough for me for one day. I'll probably end up at the rest house, you know, with a glass of local beer and a siesta.
Right, I'll see you back at the hotel tonight then.
Okie doke. Cheers. Bye.
Is he going up there, do you think?
Of course, where else?
I told you we should have got up there before that girl. There's going to be trouble. I know it. Ahmed, are you sure there isn't another road we can branch off on?
No, lady. Tracks, not good. Too little room.
Charlie, I don't like this. Oh, damn this place. What I couldn't do for a drink.
Hello, that's odd.
What?
Ahmed, stop the car.
Yes, mister.
What is it?
Yes, I thought so. He's gone.
What are you talking about? Who's gone?
Pringle, he's left the road. I can't see him anymore.
No, Captain Aziz. I'm sorry, but if you want that type of information, you'll have to apply through the normal diplomatic channel.
Mr. Wilder, I am neither a diplomat nor a police officer. As a soldier, you have my word that all information I receive will be treated with the utmost secrecy.
Miss Warwick is already under close police observation. I really can't see what the military...
The military is not interested in the petty criminal, Mr. Wilder. Only in state security.
State security? Oh, no, Captain, even you.
It amuses you.
Well, what are you trying to tell me? That she's some kind of female James Bond or something? She's simply a tourist.
Her movements have not been that of a tourist. Last night she was in the village of Halzia.
Well, what's so wrong about that?
A dervish village, Mr. Wilder. Also well known for its political bias. Miss Warwick was ill-advised to go there.
I'm sure she'd be the first to agree with you.
You forget her father was deported by the government of my country and that her brother was an officer in the British Army. He was killed fighting our people.
Plenty of people lost their lives.
Mr. Wilder, revenge is a good enough reason for spreading subversive propaganda.
Oh, really, Captain? What's wrong with you chaps? You seem to be scared of your own shadows.
We have good reason to be. The outside world has much to gain from our lack of experience.
My dear Captain, you're going on as though this girl came here to blow up the Aswan Dam or something. I think you're forgetting she's a guest in your country, not an enemy.
Everyone is a potential enemy until proved otherwise.
Yes, I suppose that's why nobody seems to understand each other
Wilder,
anymore.
When I was at university in England, every person was fascinated in the ancient Egypt, the old way of life. But for we who have to live and work here, life has to be something more than just old temples. One day, Egypt is going to be known as something more than just the land of pharaohs. Things are going to change because they have to.
What's that?
Oh, only the tomb bats. They won't harm you.
Yeah, smells foul. Doesn't seem as though anyone's been here for years.
There is nothing here to interest the tourists. Now, somewhere around there should be an oil lamp. Ah. Now, matches.
What a place. But it's so different. Not a bit how I'd imagined.
Different?
It's much smaller. And the ceiling, it's set very low. I always thought these tombs were much more spacious. Everything's so bare. Not one single wall decoration.
Elizabeth, don't go too far. It may not be safe. Try to keep close to me.
You don't have to worry, Fuad. I'm not superstitious about a tomb.
It was not the tomb I was thinking about, only the inhabitants.
Inhabitant?
The cobra. Shall we go?
Can you see anything?
Pringle's talking to 3 men. One of them looks like a European.
Who are they? Can you see us?
No. Sun's too strong. I can't see a thing. Ahmed, do you know any of them?
I think one man come from donkey station at Quayside.
Damn them flies.
Get down, will you, Margaret? Do you want him to see us?
I tell you, I'm bitten all over and I'm sick to death of stewing in this heat. Why can't we go back to the car?
Ahmed, how much further do we have to go?
Very soon now, mister. Very soon.
You see.
I don't care. I can't stand this heat any longer. Please, let's go down to the rest house.
Will you sit down and shut up?
Mr. Villiers, quick. They look at something.
What?
Do you see? Up there.
Give me the binoculars. Yes.
Are they looking at us?
No, I don't think so. They seem to be looking up at the Hashak tomb.
Poor Yassif. Well, if there was such a boy working in Sir Richard's party, I certainly never knew him. And as far as his being a pupil at this school, you're more than welcome to check my school list, Inspector.
But you do agree there were children working for Sir Richard? Arab children?
Of course, the place was swarming with them nearly all the time. But they were just hangers-on, as far as I remember.
Mr. O'Hara, last night I was at the Department of Antiquities. Professor Fozzard still insists that the tomb at Hashak is of no importance.
He's probably right.
But Sir Richard...
Sir Richard was a determined and patient man. He worked for years on the theory that other pharaonic tombs would be found outside the Valley of the Kings. That much he was right.
But Hashak is an empty shell.
That no one cares about.
Except Miss Warwick.
Miss Warwick?
I think maybe soon she will go there. Today, perhaps.
She's going all the way up to that tomb. Alone?
Not alone. She has friend. Fuad Yassif.
Yassif? But I thought you said he was dead, killed in a car crash.
Maybe he is dead, my friend. Maybe he is. But that we will find out tomorrow, when we open the coffin in the graveyard at Luxor.
Over here, Fuad. I want to have a look at this wall. Could you hold the lamp a little higher, please?
Of course.
Yes, you see, my father was right. There were hieroglyphics here, but they've obviously been scratched out. I wonder why.
Oh, tomb robbers. There must have been many over the centuries. It was quite common.
Oh, yes, I know. But why break into a place like this? There were never any treasures. They must have known it wouldn't be worth the time and effort.
Perhaps.
I suppose this was intended to be some kind of main hall. At least the ceiling isn't so low in here. Ah, and this must be the south wall.
You seem to know it.
Oh, I remember it from my father's diagrams.
But no photographs?
He never allowed photographs to be taken down here. Well, you must have known that.
Yes, of course.
Yes. It's really quite a barn of a place, isn't it? And I must say it does have quite an extraordinary atmosphere. Its own special kind of peace.
No. There was never peace here.
I don't follow you. What do you mean?
When they broke into nearly all the other tombs in the valley, everything was still and quiet, as though one were peering into eternity itself. But not here.
Why?
During the excavations, we worked for months digging in the sand and rock outside. Nobody knew why. We just followed your father because something told us we had to. He was like a child. Not for 1 minute did he ever stop to think that what he was looking for just did not exist. But he was determined. When we slept, he worked on, sometimes through the night by the light of a candle. One day, the heat outside was unbearable. Everyone stopped what they were doing and went to sleep in their tents. But not Sir Richard. With just a handkerchief to cover his head, he sipped mint tea, staring down at the sand as if it would suddenly come to life. And of course, it did. His eyes suddenly focused on a few particles of sand which began to move. Almost hypnotized, he watched the head and eyes of a cobra staring at him over the top of the sand. His blood was cold, and he couldn't move until the serpent had emerged and slithered away. Your father had found the entrance to the tomb.
The red cobra. Yes, he talks a lot about that in his diary. How he tore away at the sand with his bare hands, helpless until someone heard him shouting. But You sound as though you were sorry he found the tomb.
To me, it was the first step towards death.
You're superstitious. It seems unlike you.
There's something restless here, that's all I know.
You could say that about all the tombs in the valley, from what I've heard. But I will admit, this one is rather special. I don't know why.
Elizabeth,
Hmm?
what did your father tell you about this tomb?
As much as he told you, I imagine.
It is pharaonic, isn't it?
You know, there's no doubt about it. This tomb is cut diagonally into the hill. I thought that as we made the approach.
Where is the king's chamber?
King's chamber? Is there one?
I've told you not to play games with me. Now tell me. You promised. Your father promised. Elizabeth, I want to know.
No, what's this mark on the wall? It looks as though it could have been a cartouche or something. Yes, do you see? The double-headed cobra. Oh, quick, Fuad, bring the lamp over here. Oh, Fuad, did you hear what I... Fuad, what the hell do you think you're doing? You don't scare me, you know. I can hear you moving around in the dark. Don't think I'm going to tell you anything until you light that lamp again. Fuad, did you hear what I said? Oh, Fuad, no! Please, don't leave me! Fuad, there's something here. It's touching my foot. There's something crawling along the floor. Fuad!
Into the Darkness was the second episode of Kill the Pharaoh, a thriller serial in 8 parts by Victor Pemberton. Elizabeth Warwick was played by Sheila Grant, and production for the BBC was by John Tydeman.